got to see this thing. This is the 2025 tag. This is the XL Boondock Black Canyon Edition by NuCam. Now I'll have all the specs as well as my contact information down below. But let's start on the back side. I just want to show you. So with the Black Canyon, you get an extra 120 watts of solar. You also have the 100 amp hour lithium battery. Let me show you the Battleborn, which I'm going to get up front here and show that to you. Now you do have an option where you can increase, if you wanted to, you can add a second lithium as well as a 2,000 watt inverter. So that is an option. So here in the front, like what they've done, they've made some changes to this. So you actually have where you can lock it now. I know some people might say, well, Paul, you know, what happens with the LP? Well, great question. What they've done with that is they've given you an area right here where now you can reach in, and you're going to be able to reach in here and shut off or disconnect the LP bottle in the event of an emergency. So, and that one is not a lockable part there. But what they've also done is they've given you a solar port here. Benefit there, let's say that you parked in the shade. Well, you park in the shade, those panels on your camper are not going to do you any good. So now you're able to put some portable suitcase style, as they call it, out in the sun area. So you have plenty of room in here if you wanted to add an additional battery, but also if you had some gear. And of course your 20-pound LP bottle. Now something I just cautioned you with on this, this has a 2,200 pound gross vehicle weight rating. However, you can only put an additional, as you can see right there, 269 pounds additional of payload. Now, I mean, it's not a big camper, not really a lot of weight, you know, space that you're really be able to put stuff. I think most people do pack rather lightly, so 200 pounds is the, I guess that could be a downside to some people. Let's talk about what you got on the side here. By the way, this is where the air conditioner breathing a little bit. You also have your cable, but also some people go ahead and connect here an outside local antenna. That way there you're able to get local channels and so forth. 110 connection, your sprayer port, and notice the hose fits quite nicely in here. This is where you would connect for your city water or fill up your fresh water tank that you have on board. Now on the back, because this is the XL, a little bit wider, and as you can see, you have your Camco refrigerator freezer with a cutting board up above it. Nice thing with that cutting board is you can take this off and you can go put it somewhere, so you don't necessarily need to leave it right there. So you got your microwave, 2-burner cooktop, places for utensils, 110, 12 volt. And of course it has a water pump switch in the event that you're on your tank. It has a tank heater, and don't get too excited about that, folks. It's not that you're going to be able to be doing 4-season camping with this thing. But you see when you turn on your accent light, you've got the light right across the top there, as well as this light here. Now this light can be controlled here as well, so if you didn't want that light on, you could shut that off and just have the light over the kitchen area. You have it also an additional, you have a second, well I wouldn't say second, but you have another area where you can connect to LP, because you get your 2-burner cooktop, but that way there, if you had a griddle or some type of grill that you'd like to connect back here, you're able to do that for yourself. Spare tire on the side. You do have the lockable Yakima bike rack or rack system on the roof. And then underneath, I like how they do this. Take a look underneath. Take a look at the lighting. So it's your under the camper glow lights. Now I like the fact that for your outside light, of course you have red underneath, not going to collect the bugs. Nice thing about the red light, for those of you that go out and do stargazing, those lights don't affect anything. That's hence the reason why they're using red. But yellow here, which is not going to be attracting the bugs. Now on the inside, you've got some ceiling lights, but it's not directly on you, as you can see right there. And then here on each side, you have what they call, this could be, it's blue right now, but you can go ahead and hold the button and you can see now you have a reading light. So that could be your bright light if you wish. Now these are controlled right here. You have your porch light, ceiling light, and underglow lighting. On that side, you have another light that will be for the outside light on that side. And each side, you're gonna have your cup holders. 110 outlet here on that end, and I'll get over there, we have 12 volt. Now I know you're probably saying to me, Paul, what the heck are we gonna sleep on? I mean, that's wood. I get it, but what I wanted to do was show you what was below the mattresses before we actually show you the mattresses. So on either side, see how high that lifts up? And then down here, like this will lift up as well. In the event that, let's say you had this closed and you just wanted to get into that area, you can. And then also here, you have storage. And the other side has the same thing. As well as a little storage back behind here. These slide quite nicely. There is a center support thing in the middle there. And then of course I'll show you the cabinets upside. But now let's show you how cool it is for these new mattresses that they put in here. So what we're looking at here, now this is the XL version. What the XL is going to give you, the mattresses together and with wall to wall here, you have 70 inches wide by 70 inches in length. If you were to get the standard tag, you're going to be 58 inches side to side. And so, you know, and then from front to back, you're going to be 78 inches. So you gain 12 inches in the sleeping area. But here's what I love of what they've done for the Black Canyon. Take a look at the new setup for that cushion. So you're able to sit it up there. So if you want to sit there, if you put a TV in here, maybe you want to read. You see I have the light over there shining right down on that spot. Remember I told you about your porch light, which is right here. And it's yellow on this side. As well as, again, you have the red underneath, just like you had on the other side. A little bit easier to see at night. And lastly, on this side, you do have that blue light, which can be a reading light. Little cubbies up above. Let me hop on in here. We're going to kind of go over a couple things for you. So the power vent fan on the roof. Nice thing with that is this one you can have it where it's blowing the air directly on you. Something I'd highly recommend you consider is putting a max air cover on there. Only problem with that is then that negates that 𝚘𝚘𝚎 bike rack for certain things, like if you're going to put kayaks or something up there. But you can have it blowing directly on you, and you could use it in the rain if you wanted to. Now, you could also have it pulling air out so that if you open up your windows, by the way, all you're doing is pushing these buttons here. It's a little bit harder one-handed here. I'm not used to doing it this way, but then this thing will just open up and you're able to then tighten these things down here. Let me show you. Kind of difficult when I'm not all the way in and just one hand. Now I know you're probably saying to yourself, well, Paul, that's all well and good, but geez Louise, what about keeping the bugs out? What you have is you have the screen that pulls down from the top. At night, if you wanted to, you could pull this up. Of course, you'd probably close the window at that point. Now, some people say that, well, you know what, Paul, you know, I'd like to pull the air through, but I don't want to go ahead and have the window open. How can I do that? Well, they have this little area right here. And let me show you what I'm doing is I'm just pulling this in ever so slightly. And instead of locking it all the way in, I'm locking it right in the center section. And what that'll do, let me show you on the outside. You can see that we have a little bit of gap for the window. So that's allowing air to be coming in through there, and your window is secure. Well, somewhat. I mean, trust me, if somebody wants to get in here, they're going to get in here even if that window's closed all the way. But that's how that works. Now you do have your breakers, fuses with your converter up there. Now the nice thing with this converter, it is set up to detect what batteries you have on it. So if you had one of these and it had a deep cycle and you want to switch to a lithium or AGM, it automatically detects that. Now, when you're running your air conditioner, you must turn that AC fan on, because what that's going to do, that's going to pull the air that's behind there and exhaust it. The air directly from the air conditioner is going to exhaust down below, but that AC fan's just exhausting it out the sides. And then, of course, you have your furnace over there. Now, I know for those of you that might have seen these years ago, they had a TV up on here. Well, it is TV prepped. I guess most people really didn't want it. You see, that's where you plug in your AC. Your TV prep is going to be for 12 volt. We'll storage up above here, and you'll have the same thing on the other side. Now, because that heater is on that side, on this side, you do have this little cubby, if you want to call it that. 110 outlet up here, and you see the little cubbies up top. And the stargazing window out front. So this is the 2025 TAG XL Boondock Black Canyon Edition. What do you think? You liking it? Comment down below, like, share the video, and if you haven't yet, please do subscribe. And I'll be back at you again soon. Take care.